Blashashmi, Ishmora, Valuha Kastova Sakuna. Well, I am not Satya to create a new language for my listeners, but, well, I welcome you all to this second chapter of the language of laughter. Alone in the room, Satya began to write. His fingers began to move feverishly across the pages of his old notebook, filled with strange, colorful words that only he could understand. At first, they were only sounds shaped into symbols. Zuzupli, Chikchikora, Umbaram. But gradually his vocabulary was growing every day. Like a garden growing with bright plants, untamed. Each day he discovered new words. While walking down the street, looking at the starry sky, from house to school, from earth to heaven, was all a close observation and new inventions. The words were enough to be compiled into a mini dictionary. The collection of so many diverse words being newly invented made Satya so ridiculously proud of himself, he practically gave himself a standing ovation. Now drunk on his brilliance, he began drafting grammatical rules of this shiny new language. And the foundation? Well, no boring old nouns and verbs. It was a sound rhythm and a pinch of sass. According to Satya, 2 words in a sentence had to be joined with an increasing tone. Like one politely asked and the next one screaming. Like, yes? And what of it? In simple words, his grammar had rhythm, sparkle, and just enough mischievous to make any respected linguist faint. So, his grammar was like a circus where words jiggled, danced, and tumbled into one another. Even a word, big and clumsy like an elephant, could not stay serious. It too would dance, stumble, and tumble down the stool like the clown in the circus, earning applause for its fellow words. Once the dictionary was done, the rules were all established. The next step was to practice them every day. Satya began practicing it every day while walking to the well, brushing his teeth, and even while feeding hens, where he would excitedly tell them, "Dhumbalu, zubzubli khana." Days of practice were making him more and more fluent each day. The melody, the rhythm in speaking his words kept him happy and proud to have done such a big task so easily. Now, his tongue could roll down this new language more comfortably than even his own mother tongue. At last, the big moment had arrived, the rehearsal. After countless days of mumbling, scribbling, and giggling over his own brilliance, Satya was finally ready to test drive his shiny new language in the wild. Off he marched to the bustling marketplace, chin up, chest out, his head held high, determined to make his invention shine. He was walking like a man on a secret mission from the Ministry of Words. Looking at the onion stall, he asked the shopkeeper, "Fresh Puflapur?" The shopkeeper raised his eyebrows. "Fresh what?" "Puflapur," repeated Satya, pointing at onions with great authority. The shopkeeper tried to keep his face straight, but the sound of the word was too much. He burst out laughing, first a chuckle, then a roar, until the neighbor vendor peeped in too, to see what was funny. "His Puflapur is onion," he told the vendor, listening that half of the market was repeating it Fuflapur, 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 as if it was some political campaign that they were doing. Satya's face turned red. Laugh, all of you, but in my language, Fuflapur are onions. And you, Mr. Shopkeeper, you are completely kupta. That means crazy. He marched into the bazaar like a king. Entering his court, he greeted everybody loudly. Dumbalu, Dumbalu, what a jinjora, marmang. The vegetable vendor frowned. What is jinjora now? Satya spread her arms wide. It means shin sparking, full of life, like your forehead after all this sweating. The whole crowd bursted into laughter. Then he said to the fruit seller, give a dozen fugli, but only the ones that look turram. Fug? What fug? Asked the vendor, and he replied rather in astonishment. Fugli is banana, and turram means fat and happy like uncle's belly. Patting at his own tummy, he again amused the people around. Next, he went to buy some sugar. Very politely, he requested, "Lullam puff, please." The shopkeeper kept looking at his face inquisitively, and then he began describing it as a writer. Twinkle it on your tongue, and it will start dancing, demonstrating as the students would do a practical in a lab. He wiggled his tongue like a snake, and the crowd howled, clutching their stomachs. Even the shopkeeper could not stop a grin, and he weighed out the sugar. Now the whole marketplace was in a frenzy. Children ran behind Satya, shouting, "Fuflapur, turram, lullam puff." One elder was talking of Satya's language, telling other that indeed his language is good entertainment. But as people were enjoying listening to it, they soon learnt a few words and began to speak the same. Not because it was supposed to be a new language, but because it was funny. The tea stall vendor had a special offer for the day: hot tea with extra lullam puff. Satya walked through the marketplace, quite pleased, as if he had won a victory on a battlefield. His chest slightly pushed forward, chin up at a heroic angle, and his body posture was a picture of confidence. Satya was feeling on top of the world to have achieved his mission of creating a language and earning a shiny crown of fame in the little village. In his mind, he was not the same old Satya. He was the king of Kanakdhara, the sovereign of syllables. Behind him trailed the ragtag parade of giggle children, gleefully chanting his freshly invented words like war cries and lullabies rolled into one. Fuflapur, turram, umbaram. Their voice rose and fell in rhythmic wave, turning the dusty lanes into a living, breathing musical. And there he walked, Satya, a language inventor, self-proclaimed king, and accidental street performer, basking in the glorious absurdity of it all. The world hasn't changed. Not really, but in that moment, with the laughter of children and music of nonsense words dancing through the air, it felt like it had. And perhaps, just perhaps, that was victory enough.